and then it does something else.
Recording or no?
I don't know. I think I'm
I'll
streaming.
come and check. Yeah.
I think I'm streaming, but I'm not sure. Am I streaming, everybody?
Is it counting?
I
If it's
I
counting,
think it's counting.
yeah,
Yes, it's counting.
then that means it's sending.
See, my engineer's over there doing something.
I'm on the way.
So I decided to start the live, and I don't know what I'm doing.
You
Got
sure
the
do.
passenger driving the bus.
Do not act like don't act brand new. You know what's going on.
I know where the button is, but I thought there were two buttons, and I only pushed one button. Surprised that worked. So, good evening, Dean Stevenson, Tavo.
Oh, I pulled this in too
Tavo.
close.
Here are the stars of the show: Kim, who fixes things, and her faithful comedy sidekick, Buff Del Campo.
No, I'm the sidekick.
Oh, that's pretty good. Kim fixes things.
All right.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, and somebody gave me a bunch of crap about this engine on that stand was top heavy. But I just told them, well, we pulled the head off of it right after that, and that fixed that problem.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely top heavy.
Yeah, it was
Still-
top heavy.
It still is.
Yeah, it still is, but
yeah.
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 Well,
Go figure. People know things.
that's just life, you know?
People know things.
Somebody that never works on an engine is going to be criticized.
Maybe they do. Maybe they're experts and they just don't know our level of.
Yeah,
We're
level
smart enough to do it wrong and not get killed yet.
not get killed yet.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. It's Saturday night in the shop. No Dust Devil Garage. I was disappointed. He streamed this afternoon and then didn't stream tonight. But we were already on track for 10:30 start time. So here we are.
We adjusted our time for him, and he didn't stream.
He must have had some
He
kind
had
of technical
something happened.
difficulties.
Something happened to him.
Maybe he found something more fun to do. I don't
Yeah,
know what that possibly been.
imagine that. No, he found something more fun.
I am here with Buff Del Campo, the namesake of the channel that you are currently on, the Buff Del Campo channel. We are in the Buff Del Campo garage, shop, place. And Yinzer alert, KJ Kiley, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry, KJ, you are not first. Dr. Go, welcome to
Dr.
the
Go's
stream.
here.
Tavo gets he was first, so he gets all the glory that goes with being first to the stream.
What's he win?
Um,
Tavo! That's what he wins. A
Okay.
call out.
Tavo,
Or
if
a
you desperately
shout
wish,
Shout out.
if you desperately wish for this piece of sacrificial Dodge Dart,
Oh, we can send him part of the dart?
we will. I mean, this is pretty special. This is a part of the frame rail of our fine Dodge Dart. It is it's a sacrificial material that it corrodes so that the rest of the dart does not corrode. It just so happens to be also part of the frame that you need to not corrode. So I don't know, but I mean it is very well weathered.
Can you imagine that going through customs in Australia?
American steel. It's still pretty stout. It'll cut you. It's razor sharp on every edge.
Mrs. One-Eyed Cat's in. Hello, just got don't cutting. Oh, I bet she means done cutting Dawn's hair.
Dean Stevenson, he was yelling your comments across the shop while I was trying to drag out this motor. He said, Dean Stevenson says T-minus 1 minute.
So you got to get over here. She didn't come over here. So
Wendy, welcome to the stream.
I just started it myself. I was a second thumbs up.
Celebrity auction of the Dodge.
Oh, the thumbs ups. Oh yeah, I don't see the thumbs ups here.
Oh yeah, we're not
Where
in
are
that
they?
screen. We don't
We don't-
have as many computers
See,
in the shop.
when we're in the studio on Tuesday night, I have all these screens and I know exactly what's going on. Here we have, and we don't have as much, but we have enough that it's pretty nice. I mean, you know, we're not doing it on a phone anymore. A second.
JB says howdy howdy.
Howdy.
Right back at you, JB. Thank you for
I
being
just
here.
responded to a comment he made on a short, I think. Didn't you say your father had what do you call it? I call them a star wrench, but I know that's not what they're called anymore.
Four-way?
That four-way lug wrench, yeah.
A four-way is a flasher, isn't it?
Four ways of, yeah, I don't know. They got all these names for everything now.
A lug wrench? A
You know, like,
four direct. You
well,
know
and then
what I didn't?
somebody said it's a brace. See, my mother used to call tools like that a brace, like the speed handle. She called it a brace, but that's because she hung around her father's shop, and he was a car mechanic from like 1918 probably. That's when he turned 18. So 1918 until about 1957 or 58. So I bet that's how she picked that up. So somebody in there said that's a brace, and I thought, yeah, that just brought that back. So yeah,
Leighton Welding is here. Welcome to the stream. So we have decided that yesterday was pretty intense, and then today I was out here. I cut out a piece of metal off of the it isn't a scrap pile. It's definitely the supply pile.
we have
I'll go get that. I'll be right
old
back. You
stuff.
tell them about the pile.
We have old steel
It's not
stuff
even old.
that used to be parts of
Repurposed.
a big fixture that I used to put wings together, but Kim talked me into cutting it up and taking it outside because we'll probably never build another wing, and that was a sad day. But it really made a lot more. It made a lot more room in the shop. So, so Kim has been cutting pieces off it. I've been cutting pieces off it. So here's a 2x4x8 piece of steel that she's gonna fabricate
Well, so
something out of it.
I was looking, and this is pretty tough too.
Well,
Do you think this is thick enough?
we got to take that burr out of there and measure the thickness because I don't know what the thickness of that is, but that would probably be real good. Nice John Boston's nice Delta drill press. It is. That is an ancient thing that somebody. I got it like way used. Somebody put a different motor on it, and it's obviously homemade mount for the motor, but it works quite well.
It's got a good shank in it.
And that thing doesn't wobble at all. It's really nice. So yeah,
If you look
like
at them side by side, this is probably enough.
that's enough. But is the width correct? You know, like if you like say you lop one section out of this, so now you've got a piece of U channel. Is it too wide? I don't think that'll work actually.
No.
I think you'll have to cut it the other way and make it two pieces because I think the side has to be deeper this way. I don't know. You have to get under there and measure, look, all that kind of stuff.
So we have materials is what it amounts to.
Yeah.
That's what's one of the things that I did today. And that was hard work. And then yesterday I made a major change to Buff Del Campo's streaming setup here.
Oh, and then today she redid it again. It's still,
No, I made improvements.
it's basically the same as yesterday, except the screen that's vertical that I see the chat on. She made that so it swings through an arc. So if we're over there, we can read it, or over here, we can read it.
And I can move it.
Really, it's pretty nice.
If there's a glare on it, and then if the table has to slide, it's not on the table anymore. It's mounted to the wall.
I noticed you put this up higher. This screen's up higher too.
It's sitting on the computer, and since we don't look at it all the
Yeah,
time,
I glance.
hope you could be
I
okay with
glance
it.
over there sometimes, but mostly I'm looking over here, right there at the chat, which is almost where the camera is. I don't put the camera right in front of the chat, but it's right there. So it's so when I'm looking at the chat, it looks more like I'm looking at the camera than staring off to somewhere else. This is pretty nice, Kim, and this big table's nice because I can clean tools and do things while I'm chatting.
Yeah, we can get some work done and still do the streaming thing. Tavo says the common repairs to chassis rails down here are done with 3 pieces of flat plate. Yeah, we could probably do it with
our sheet metal is just too thin. And I don't. Oh, we do have some flat. I have some 4130 over there that's like 90 thousandths, maybe some 60 thousandths, some 90 thousandths, 4130. That's some hefty stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, we didn't get that
You
much
guys
done.
get more
but
done
it
in a
wore
day
me
than I
out.
get done in a month. No, it just looks that way.
Well, you just got to do a little. I just keep going next.
She does.
And I get
she
tired,
does
and
more
I'm
than
like,
I
well,
do.
maybe a little more. What's next? But like around dinner time, I was like, well, I got to be done so I can get some rest before the
Should we
stream.
tell them what really happened?
What?
She say you're gonna cook some food?
Yeah, I fell asleep and burned the food because I was
I'm glad you
exhausted.
said it. I went to get in the shower. That's my thing. I take a shower and get clean clothes on, then I come up here to turn this on. So I went in the bathroom and I go, smells like burning food in here. And she's like, ah. So I went
burned the
out.
food.
I went out in the kitchen, turned it off, and moved the pan over. It wasn't too badly burned, but it had some char to it. We had what do we have?
The more hungry you are, the less the burn bothers me.
Cauliflower and some kind of big sausage.
Smoked kielbasa.
Yeah, and the kibas was okay. The cauliflower was what was got too warm.
Yeah, I like it kind of a
Yeah.
block on the
1/8-inch plate
French.
is the usual use.
Is this probably 1/8 inch?
That's 8. Yeah, that's
And
definitely
this
8.
is less. This is like
That's probably 16th.
3/32.
I don't think it's 3/32.
Anyways,
It could be.
we have
It's got such a burr on the end of it. I can't see what it is.
we
but
definitely have.
But I know
something
I know that big wing fixture, wing building fixture, whatever you call it, was made out of 2x4. It was made out of two things: 2x4x8 and 2x3x8.
Oh,
That piece you have there is 2x3x8.
thicker than I thought. This is pretty thick. Is this the stuff you were talking about?
No, but that's another piece. What is that? That is 4130. It's just got rusty sides on it. What's the thickness? That's 90 thousandths. So,
I mean, this is.
yeah, how do you like that? That's 90,000.
Yeah. So we.
You know how I can do that? Because I only have 60, 90, and 120. So it's pretty easy to use this for a caliper when it's
And
that.
then this is just mild steel. This came from
Well, that's some piece of junk we got.
like the Home Depot or something like that.
What is that?
It says plain steel, and it's 24x24. This is the stuff that they used in the.
It's too thin. It's that 16th. That's 16th mild steel. It might not even be 16th. It might be 40. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
This is the stuff that I
What did we
used.
make? We made something out of it.
The- I-
That's the piece we made out of the floor. Do you know where that floor piece is?
Yeah, it's in the
Okay, good.
cabinet.
Because we got a weld up.
This is the floor that was in that blue 93 Dodge pickup truck.
Oh, it's just free
I just
stuff.
pulled it out there to salvage because I knew we'd need it. We've got stuff.
Haveth not fear the Dougster cometh.
Dougster, thanks.
He reworded his
Yeah,
entry.
Dougster.
I try to do little parts of projects where I can. So when I get this Dr. Go, I try to do little parts of projects where I can. So when I can finally give a big project a long day or two, I have all the parts and tools. Yeah, of course.
That's right. You nudge everything in a little direction, which looks it's very hard to make coherent video with that.
And Danny Boyd's here. And
Potato,
Oh,
says
man.
Dougster.
This guy, Dougster, comes up to me at No Name Nationals. He hands me a potato. I'm like, huh? What's this? It's a potato. It's about this big. He's like, okay. He's handing out potatoes. That was interesting.
So today, I was going to try, once we get these tools organized, you can't see them, but there's sort of a couple of piles of tools still here. The wrenches are looking clean. You
They're
wiped all
getting
them
there.
wrenches down?
I wiped them down with a CRC Power Lube, and they wiped all the grease and goop off of them.
So we
Yeah.
got to get everything cleaned up while we're chit-chatting here. We have works to do. But then, this engine here seems to be pretty tight in the bottom end. Cylinder head, I
Wait
don't
a
know.
minute.
We haven't figured that out yet.
What engine's that?
I just switched them around. This is the Reman engine.
That's the one that came out of the Barracuda.
Yes.
Okay, so that is a 40 thousandths over engine. It still has hone marks in it. It is tight. I mean, it's got like a not a lot of piston cylinder wall clearance. It's like somebody just rebuilt it.
It's fresh.
And
ish.
I think what somebody did was put a short block in their whatever that was, 67 Barracuda and just put the old head back on. Because they had a lot of trouble with that engine. That head was loosey-goosey, valves rattling around, just a mess. So we're going to have to get one of the heads redone. And I think we'll put it on that engine that's behind Kim. And but we may tear that down just to make sure, because it had a lot of carbon and stuff in it, just to clean the ring grooves out. And we might put a fresh
I'd
hone on it.
really
I don't
like
know.
to pull the pistons out and make sure that none of the top rings are really gummed up, because it really seems we did pull one piston out. I'll grab it. And I felt like it really needed a cleanup before it was put back together.
And One-Eyed Cat here's freshly showered. Day is done again. I heard you were freshly showered because you had a fresh haircut. And same thing. I get a haircut, man. I gotta dive in the shower and get rid of all the itchies. Although my barber just bought new clippers, and it's hooked to like a centralized vacuum, and I don't get any clippings on me now. He just and it's kind of noisy, but he just sucks the hair right. It goes that way instead of down. Okay.
See how dirty the tops of these pistons are? Well, the inside of the cylinder head was just really gummed up, and there was some kind of like tar oozing down through the intakes, and the intake valves were gummed up and not sealing properly. There was some kind of varnish getting in the motor from
So what's
the whole
that? That's the
system.
number one
This
piston?
is number one
Okay.
piston. So I want to clean up this part where it's real black up near the top, and make sure the groove for the top ring is good. And then I also like to maybe take the top ring out and see what the measured ring gap on these springs is.
Well, I don't think it would hurt to take all the rings out and clean everything up, but you
Well,
may not want to. I don't know.
I think we could probably. Well, ooh, look at that tar.
Can you? Okay.
It's pretty gummy. Yeah, maybe we take them
It,
out.
um,
I hate to get so deep into it, but
see, Dr. Go says, can you glue? I don't know if glue is the right product. Glue two slant sixes together and get a V12. We have talked about
no.
that,
Yeah,
and
you can't.
and every time I've talked about it, Kim tells me why we can't do it, and I try to think about where we can connect the cranks together. I mean, would that be an awesome engine? But she's probably right. V12 with two crankshafts.
Did you see? I just saw Garage 54. Did you see what they did with the chainsaws? They made a V12
No,
chainsaws.
I haven't watched that yet.
It was pretty hokey,
Mostly old parts. Good evening.
but they did get it to start. But it wasn't really. I don't think it's gonna hold together. It's pretty hokey.
Yeah, Garage 54 is a lot of times interesting, and sometimes it's kind of crazy. I mean, I watched the first time I saw Garage 54, I knew he was onto something, because he pulled the brakes apart on some Russian car. I think it was a Lada, and he put iPhones in instead of brake pads,
Oh yeah.
and then they had it up on a lift, and he ran the engine up in gear with the rotors turning and put the brakes on, and the iPhones clamped down on the rotors, and they made sparks and ruined the iPhones. It was pretty hilarious. I had to keep watching him.
KJ Kiley says, I just got a set of TTI ceramic headers. They're so nice I can't decide if I should put them on the car or hang them on the living room wall.
Well,
That sounds
sometimes
cool though.
sometimes car parts look really good on the living room wall.
Yeah.
Sometimes even on the shop wall. I've got way over there where you can't see it. I like 63 Dodge Darts because I like the grill on the 63 Dart. And Tony, Uncle Tony, just he was cleaning up and he goes, "Here, you want this?" And he hands me a perfect 63 Dodge Dart grill. Yeah, thanks. I'll use that. Well, I used it to hang on the wall. Maybe someday I'll have a 63 Dodge Dart. But I have that, and every time I look at it, I go, yeah, I like that. So that's a wall hanging part, and it's a perfect grill. I mean, there's not a ding or dent or bend in it, you know. Could take two diffs in one axle housing off each power. Yeah, I've thought about that too. just put like a stub axle between the two differentials and run two drive shafts back. But then the slants are going the same direction. They're not doing this. They're doing this. So I don't know.
You could get a full-time four-wheel drive transfer case
Well, you
and
could,
run the engines in with shafts into the same transfer case.
or you could offset the engines like this and put them really close together, and then the drive shafts would be close together.
Okay, the reality is we can't do any of that.
No, we're not going to do any of that.
We
This is
just
like thinking of stupid
it's
stuff.
fun to think about, but we can't do any of that.
Mostly old parts. Today I repaired a hokey shift lever on a 2001 Mazda B3000. Not sure what a B3000 is. And
pickup
sheet
truck.
metal. I thought those would be 2000. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is a
The
3000.
3000 is the bigger one.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mazda B3000 and sheet metal damage on a 2001 Lexus. See, I like doing sheet metal work, but I rarely do it. I mean, I did it for years and years and years with aluminum on airplanes, but here I rarely do it. I've got a hole in the floor of the Valiant, just one hole, and we cut a patch where we got to go in there and cut it out, weld that in there. So that'll be it's a spot about this big on the driver's side. The rest of that floor is all beautiful. It's painted like fresh paint, original yellow paint. Looks good. So I don't know what happened there. Somebody with salty muck on their shoes getting in and out of that car all the time. Mazda B is for Bongo. 3000 is a CC Ford Ranger.
So it's a 3-liter Ford Ranger.
Well, the
a Mazda is a Ranger. A
yeah.
Ranger is a Mazda. Yeah.
I was looking at
Mazda.
I was looking at a Mazda today for sale it's actually a Ford Escape. It's called a Mazda. What they call the Mazda is like a Ford Escape. So yeah, I looked at it, but it had like all the cars I'm looking at got like 250,000 miles on them. It's like they've been to the moon and back, I can't believe the miles on the cars that are for sale. That's scary with this new electronic stuff. That stuff could fail,
Problematic.
Okay, Kim is thinking like tractor puller now. My cat, I have a wall, 2 retired bug shields, and a RV 440 speedometer plus other things. Oh, Kim, if you run into, what the Dodge van from 71 up to like the first 10 years, they had a dashboard that swooped way back in like this, and they had 2 dials. I have one of those clusters around here, and the speedometer is about this big, and then there's another round thing that's got a bunch of gauges in it. It's around here somewhere.
Yeah, it's in one of these.
If
bins.
you run into it, pull it out of whatever box it's in. Although it's not an emergency,
No.
but I'm gonna want it.
For what?
Well, I'm gonna need.
He says Mazda tribute.
I'm gonna need. It is. It's a tribute.
JB, you win.
It is a tribute.
You get him. You get how many points you want to award him?
So I want that
5 points.
I may want that speedometer net.
Good answer.
Speedometer net cluster for the Studebaker. Just the unit, not the because the stuff that's in there is no good. I wish I could have 8 blown 426 Hemi on a pulling tractor with fire out the zoomies. Oh man. Let's see. Nobody wants to get rid of their old stuff. Oh man, I've got rid of old stuff, and you know what happens as soon as I get rid of it? It's somewhere where I can no longer get at it. Man, that's when I need it. So I become a hoarder.
Yeah, new stuff has gotten out of control. The prices, the economy, the money is just like, whoa. I never saw this coming.
Okay, mid-80s to mid-90s, anything other than a Falcon with a Ford badge down here was a rebadged Mazda. You got some really good Falcons down there. You got Falcons down there that are the best looking Falcons ever made. They look like big fastback cars that we never got here. Falcon was done here. But they used that name that continued on in Australia. And you got some really good cars, but Man, the cost of moving one of those cars up here, just, it can't do it, you know. You all stuck up on toilet paper during the dock worker strike. God, I hope not. What I think's funny is there are people with like 50-foot, 53-foot flatbed trailers going back to Walmart with all their cases of toilet paper they got during the other thing that happened in 2020 and 2021 when everybody's out of toilet paper because a few people bought it all up. That's insane. I found a good source for toilet paper when everybody goes crazy buying all the toilet paper.
Maybe.
I found a real good source, and you know what it is, and I buy it. I still buy it.
Dock worker thing just ended abruptly. That was pretty good because that could have been all kind of chaos.
Oh, something smells, Kim.
It's gasoline.
Oh, you got a thing of gasoline?
You know
over
that
there?
gasoline that we got out of that car, that Z car that you said was kind of funky?
Oh, that's that gasoline belongs to Sean O'Brien.
I figure if we're going to dispose of it
Sean
anyway.
O'Brien's gas. He bought gas for his 260Z, and it was running terribly. And he finally started looking at his fuel filters, and he has 3 inline filters between the tank and the engine. They were all clogged up, and he cleaned them all out, ran it again, it's all clogged up right away. So he drained the gas out, and he just bought 93 from a station that it looks like they don't sell much 93, so it was contaminated. So he drained it out, and we had an empty 5-gallon gas can. Can you shut that off?
I was just about to do that.
The air conditioner popped on. We don't need air conditioning in here. So he drained it out into my 5-gallon gas can. He drained it into a pan and filled my gas can. Then me, like a big dummy, put it on the floor next to me, and my Mazda went through this horrible crash.
Oh man.
And nothing leaked. I had it sealed, closed, but it flipped over during the crash, and I looked over and saw that after everything came to a stop, and no gas was leaking, but I flipped it right side up again. Then when I went and cleaned my Mazda out at the storage lot, whatever you call it, I brought the 5 gallons of gas back here, and now Kim's cleaning parts with it, but it doesn't smell like good gas, but it's smells cleaner than solvent. I don't know. It was really bad gas. And then Sean O'Brien put 91 in his car, and it ran way better and quit clogging up the filters. So we know something in this gas was doing that. So we got a load of bad fuel. Let's see here. I got parts today for Lady Dougster's Super Beetle. Got a fiberglass visor. All trim spears, a license plate light, and other odds and ends. What year is that car, that Super Beetle? I remember when the Super Beetles came out, so I think of that as a new car, but I'm starting to think it's probably not so new. Super Beetle sounds sweet. Yeah, it's got, instead of those torsion plates, it's got the McPherson struts. EFOG 3, good evening. Goran, I hope I'm saying your name right. Goran Sandstrom. You're back from Sweden.
I'm back.
It's one of Lady Dougster's dream cars. The other's a military spec Jeep. Oh, like an old Jeep, or you mean like a World War II Jeep, or like a M151? What's the name of those things? I can't think of it. I love the M151, and they're just not a lot of them around because they cut them up. The British would say fresh petrol. Yeah, this is definitely not something wrong with this fuel, but she's got it in a pretty good container, so I don't think she's going to get it all over.
Nope.
You got it on the floor. Oh, and you've got it in a big pan. Here, I want to show everybody, but you don't have your extra cam set up.
Well, I can get it set
Oh
up.
God, is that stink? What is that? That was his gas.
Yeah.
That doesn't smell like gasoline. I wonder what was in that 93 uh tank in that gas station.
Mm.
That is not all gasoline. That's gasoline and something else.
Maybe some kind of race gas additive. There might have been some of that.
Or they went and put some diesel in it or put some, I don't know what that is. That's crazy. Um, every pan he filled had debris in the bottom. Okay, you were there. Oh yeah, you were right. You were right in our neighborhood over there.
It's working pretty good.
Well, we have it here now, and it rode through a hell of a crash.
It's working pretty good to
And
clean up
it's
this
it's working
piston.
great to clean parts. And I like using diesel, except diesel, man, you'll stink afterwards. You take 4 showers, you still stink. It's a 73. Um, oh, color even looked old with that gas. Yeah, we had it right here. Um, let's see, it's a 73 Super Beetle. Cool. She wants the exact same as used in MASH. Oh, that's the old one. That's the old military Jeep, like World War II and like Korea. I like the ones, if you look up M151, what do they call that thing? I can't think of the name of it.
Willys?
Huh?
Willys?
No, Willys is what he's talking about. Willis is the like the which were built by a lot of different companies. But that design was World War II and Korean War, and then after that they came out with the M151, which is built by Ford, and I can't think of what. What is that thing called? I like those anyway. They got independent suspension, little Ford 4-cylinder in them. They're a cute little Jeep, and the grill bars go. They look like a Jeep, except the grill bars go horizontal instead of vertical.
Oh, I remember seeing.
Yeah, because I've shown you pictures of them. I had some bad guesses. Tavo says I had some bad gas the other week not buying that brand of chili. We're not eating this stuff. He probably has death gas. Oh man, Kim, that is a strange smell.
Yeah, I think it has some race odorant in it, but.
Oh, you mean he could have put some 93 from that gas station in on top of maybe some race gas he had?
Yeah, or he might have added it. He didn't. You didn't.
He didn't
ask
really
him,
say
might
what he
have.
did.
Yeah, but he might have. But actually, it seems very, very solvent. So maybe it was just too much solvent, and it started messing up what he already had in his tank.
Do you know what I want, Kim?
What?
I know you're all filthy.
Look how much better. Than
Look at how clean that piston looks. I want our other cams so people can see what you're doing.
Okay.
But you got.
I don't have that much gas on me, honestly.
Well, it sure.
Stink.
You
like
got your
gas.
hands in it, and having gas on your hands is not good. You know, we can't have any sparks. Had some
And no
gas.
smoking tonight.
Well,
This is a non-smoking stream, guys.
yeah, we don't smoke anyway.
That was a joke, yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, it's like the old joke. Should I tell this joke on here? Do we have any kids in here?
Sure.
It's like the old joke. Do you ever smoke after sex? I don't know. I never looked.
Boom, boom.
Okay. See, you can tell that someday. Would she prefer one from Rat Patrol with the 50 caliber on the back? Yeah, you got to drive around with a 50 caliber on the back. I'm sure you can do that in Australia. You probably get stopped in a second. You can even get stopped here for that. Dean Stevenson says La Raza gas. Dr. Go, 30, 40 mile an hour, 30, 40 plus mile per hour winds right now. Oh, geez. Hope we don't. He's in Wisconsin. He's in the land of, what do you call those little cheese balls?
Cheese balls?
The
land of the cheese balls.
Those little, everybody, I got friends from Wisconsin that used to show up to air shows all the time, and they'd bring me these little, cheese curds. They'd bring me a bag of cheese curds.
All right, well, I guess
I remember that. And then what are the little sayings on the license plate? Some of them like, where is it? It says live free or die. I think that's, where is that? Vermont, I think. And so somebody made up a license plate one time and it said, it was a Wisconsin plate, and it says, Eat cheese or die.
Okay, go to scene 3.
Scene 3.
That'll give us a second camera.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Okay.
I'm not
It's
finding
gonna
the
take a minute, folks. Sorry about
scene
this.
3. We're on scene 3.
Now go
Oh,
to
I'm
the.
not centered anymore. Okay.
You're gonna have to move around a little bit
Which way is that?
towards
That's
me,
that
actually.
way. I'm
Towards
gonna
me a
have
little
to
bit.
move the camera. Which way do I have to move
No,
the
you
camera?
have to move towards me just a
I
little
don't
bit.
want to move towards you.
Okay, that should do it.
Okay,
now
there.
click on the El Gato.
El Gato.
Down at the bottom. No,
El
no, no,
Gat-
no, no. Down at the bottom left.
There it is. El
No,
Gato.
no, that's the wrong place though. That's a scene El Gato. El Gato is a source over here on the bottom left. All the way to the bottom left. Not that one. This one down here. Yeah.
Oh, El Gato Raw.
Yes.
El Gato Raw.
Click on just the El Gato Raw because you've got.
I
several
did
things.
click on El
Okay,
Gato
good.
Raw.
Now click on the little circle thing that gives us
The eyeball?
nope, not the eyeball, the circle thing down
Oh, down below the gear.
Yep, properties. Now deactivate.
Deactivate.
Yep. Now activate and it'll bring it back in. There it is.
Okay, then I can shut
You've
this
done it.
off. Okay, so now we have the dual. And here we are. Here we are. I'm getting way, way behind. Yeah, cheap bears. We're Dr. G close to Green Bay. Cheeseheads. Point beer. Cheese. There's curds. It was curds. 90 miles west of GB and slightly north. You got focus problems. You know,
working on it.
down there in that pan though you're cleaning, there's a Uncle Tony sticker. Let's see.
There it
I went to
is.
school in Stevens Point.
Not sponsored.
KJ Kylie never drank beer though. Oh, that's New Hampshire. Oh yeah, it's New Hampshire. Live free or die. Well, I had the right area of the country. Live free or die. But then somebody. See, I was in a group that had this license plate collectors, and somebody made a license plate that said "Eat cheese or die," and it was on a Wisconsin plate. It was pretty funny. I love Spotted Cow beer from New Claris Brewing. Man, I miss being able to drink some beer because there's always good beer out there, and I just can't do that anymore.
You're allowed. You just
Well, I'm allowed, but then my
can't drink
blood
that much beer with your sugar.
blood sugar goes up. Yeah, when I drink beer now, I'll be over at my son's house, and he'll have like some craft beers, and we'll take a shot glass or just the bottom of a glass and pour a little dribble in there, and I'll taste it, but that's it. You know, I can't do any more than that.
Can't drink that much beer with your sugar.
Here, yes, that's why what my New Zealand friend from Chicago said. Too bad they kind of seem to have beard out there authoritarian in New Hampshire. Haven't we all veered that direction? Way north Wisconsin. To be Road America. Dean Stevenson. Olive, I have a limited understanding of the various American accents. Oh man, you know, it's kind of strange. You can go all the way like from Arizona and up the whole. Oh, there we go.
Can you see the 40 over stamp? Where's Waldo? I saw it there. I found it. But
I don't know. You guys more scraping.
it is there. You think I should keep scraping?
You can go all the way from Arizona over the California coast and all the way up to Washington. Everybody sounds the same. It's that TV
I found it.
English accent, television English accent, with the exception of the Valley Girls in the LA area. But and of course, people from other countries. You know, there's areas that are largely Hispanic and areas that are largely Vietnamese. But but that accent from Arizona all the way up to the Canadian border is just the same, which is the accent I think I have for the most part. Although being in the military and moving all over for 30-something years, I've probably picked up some other things. I'm sure I have. Let's see here. Okay, where was I? About 35 miles north of Stevens Point. That is an old brewery. Seems probably everyone likes that Spotted Cow beer. I don't even know about that. If you have a slogan of goodness, seems often does the opposite. Um, see, as a kid, I remember an old gearhead Lyle cleaning engine parts in an old double watt sink while enjoying a Winston. Oh, that sounds like Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony, a cigarette right there, and he's like spraying gasoline. I think I'll back off from this. Stand by with a fire bottle. That's what we used to do around the airplanes. Stand by with a fire bottle.
You're on fire, baby.
As a kid, I remember. Okay, I already read that. Getting a repeat on the audio. Uh-oh. Getting a repeat. How's the audio, everybody? Is it coming in twice, or is it
If there is a
messed up?
repeat on the audio, go to the audio, scroll up and down.
Where's audio?
It's probably getting the audio is where you see the green bars. Okay.
Okay.
Scroll down. The audio is where you see the green bars. Okay. There's two audios.
There's two audios.
Go to the Elgato and mute it. We're getting audio.
How do I mute that?
Go back. Okay. Right below the green bars, there's a blue bar.
Yeah.
All the way to the left of the blue bar, there's a little speaker. No, you don't have to scroll it down. You can leave it right in the middle. Just
click the
speaker. Click
the
that, and
speaker.
it'll mute. There you go.
Okay, so now do we have good... See, somebody's paying attention here, telling us.
Thank you, guys.
You know, because what we had was we had two microphones
Hey,
going.
we're
Sorry about that. That was a mistake.
He's our engineer tonight, and he's in training.
That's Domino sang that one. That's Domino, man. I miss that. When I was a kid, yeah, that's Domino time. That's great stuff. I'm seeing, is it C for carbon? Not over 40 yet. Only ones I really have trouble with are Kiwis with a heavy accent. Guys down under. Tabo over there on the West Island. See, I shouldn't say that because I'm not from there. He should be the only one that's allowed to say that. But
don't be word police.
He's like giving Kiwis a hard time about their accent. Well, what I think's funny is we had people like from Australia and New Zealand working with us out at the test site. One guy from Australia a lot, but new people would come in and they think it's from England. And I go, man, that's not a British accent. And of course the guy from Australia would just shake his head, you know, while he's over there putting that, what is that veggie stuff he put on his bread?
Vegemite.
Vegemite. Oh man, you should see the glass garages of fancy condos near the Road America track where you see things like Cobra's Ferrari and other supercars. Lots of racing on that road course. Dean Stevens, I got it wrong. Like I'm a nong. I don't know what all that is. That's down under talk. There's a delay repeat still. Tony does catch fire occasionally. Yeah, I've seen him catch carburetors on fire and intake manifolds on fire, but he just sort of blows it out or lets it burn or something.
You can double check, make sure there's not another.
Okay, let's see if we got another one. Okay. Oh no, Dr. Go says it sounds good now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because we had two mics going that are some distance apart. That couldn't have been good.
Is that chrome moly rings? They're definitely springy. Plenty of spring.
Kim, man, they don't feel like cast iron, do they?
They're shiny too. Like, cast iron's usually kind of
I
gray.
think we should buy a set of cast iron rings. How much are rings?
$56.
So then we know they'll seat, and we'll run a hone down through there, and we'll seat them. Because
I just wanted to see what the rings.
I know.
Now you're into buying these rings. We already spent a boatload of money on stuff. I mean,
how much money do you have in that short block right now? Let's say that's the only good thing that you bought on that engine. How much do you have in it?
$250.
$250. Is it worth $60 to make it good?
No.
No. You know what? I'll get paid here pretty soon. I might buy you a set of rings.
What's this ring? Oh, this ring gap's
Like
tight.
I can afford it.
This ring gap's tight. What's this ring gap supposed to be?
Let's see. He handed me a Vegemite sandwich.
Vegemite sandwich. He just smiled then, and me every
You know, I
different
used to look at
way.
that Vegemite. I'll try just about any food, but I just couldn't put that in my mouth. But now I'm kind of wishing I had, just so I tried it.
All right, I gotta
It's
show
probably
the
good, you know.
I gotta show the chat, and they're gonna tell me what's going on with this, cause I can visually read that ring gap. Oh boy.
Oh, how big is it? Small.
Well, you get to see it. You're not allowed
I'll
to
get.
see it until the
So you put the camera on it.
camera's
Do you
on.
have
I'm gonna
a
cover this gasoline so it doesn't stink extra.
squirt bottle of gasoline and increase the fuel air ratio? See, yeah, I just squirt gasoline on it with enough of air fuel ratio that's too rich, and it'll put it out, just like it would in the combustion chamber when you get it too rich. I used to drive by Robert Plant's house when he lived here in Austin. Man, Robert Plant. Um, there is, I don't know what that song is. Dean Stevenson's a musician. Okay. Oh, look at that. Do you have oh, that hurt when I moved my neck that fast. Do you have a feeler gauge, or do you know where it is?
I can find a feeler gauge, yeah. Okay, can a moderator put a poll in the chat? What do you guys think? What's the over under on the gap on that
Well,
ring?
you just put in the chat. What's your guess?
What's your guess?
What's your guess on the ring gap?
That's factory remanufactured.
That's a remanufactured engine, and that's what they did right there. That is a very tight engine. Has less than 1,000, a little less than 1,000 piston to cylinder wall clearance, which, man, I never put an engine together that tight. But when I talked to Shane, what's he go by? Shane, Dr.
Professor P.
Professor P. Oh, we have too many doctors. Professor P. He seemed to think it was going to be okay, but let's see what the ring gap is.
What do you think I should start with?
Start with that, start with 20,000s.
20,000.
And then you'll either go smaller or bigger.
20,000. Let's see.
But I bet
This isn't the cleanest set of feeler gauges
Well,
I've ever
clean
seen,
them.
but they're
clean it. One-Eyed Cat says it's 14. All Drab says it's 30,000s.
20 is. Oh, I got 20 to go in there.
20 goes in there. Okay, so 14 and 13 are wrong. Dougster says 13. Dr. Ghost says it's 25. Okay, so bump it up a couple of thousands.
Okay. Oh, it's not going to be much bigger because it was
right
tight.
there.
I cut the garbage off of it. Let's see. I'll go 22.
Dr. Ghost says, now he changed his mind.
I don't think
He
it's
says
going to go
25.
25. I don't think it's going to go 25.
Oh, I see.
Can you guys
0.25.
see what I'm doing?
0.025. Yeah, we can see it quite well.
Oh,
What is that? What gauge? What feeler gauge is that?
that is. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it?
No, it's out of focus. That's 22. So it's smaller than 22, but it's bigger than 20.
No, 22. Look, 22 goes in.
Oh, 22 goes in?
But I mean, it's
like,
well.
Tavo just sent us $20 super chat. Here's a
Tavo, thank you
small
so much.
donation, and it's Australian 20, which is almost 20. Small donation
But
towards a
doesn't
set of
he
rings.
do-
See, he's buying rings for us.
Tavo,
That's really cool.
that's excessively generous. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Tavo says it looks like 16,000s. Yeah, but she already got a 20 in it.
I got a 22 in there.
Oh, you got a 22 in there. I'm sure.
Cutting the carbon
I'm
off.
sure
that's
somebody
not
in
there.
here.
That's
Somebody
right. I
in
did
here.
cut the carbon off.
Somebody in here will want us to measure it in metric.
This is
What is that? That's 24. I can't read it real well. It's like
no.
like doing weird stuff. Oh, that's 24.
And I got it in there. Focus in there. Got it in there.
That's like too tight.
Got it in there. What's it supposed to be?
Well, I think they're just under 20 stock, and I think you see the bore's not real big. So we set that one up on mine at 25 thousandths or 26 thousandths, and that was enough for a turbo. So this is actually
Good for
Dean.
turbo as well.
What are you sending us? Send us circles. I got to tell the story about the circles. You know how you see, and I'm looking at cars right now. So a lot of cars I see, it's like, car needs brakes. I already have the parts. And I'm thinking, yeah, somebody bought a set of pads and now it needs, rotors and pads and calipers. It's like, and somebody's got to install it all. Thanks, but no thanks. So I knew a girl years ago, she bought an Oldsmobile and she goes, and it smokes, and she says, it was a V8 Olds. And she goes, well, the guy told me it needs new circles, but he gave me the circles. And I'm sitting there going, circles, circles. I'm thinking, circles. What did this guy give her? I was like, circles. I go, oh, rings? And she goes, yeah, rings. That's what it was, rings. She goes, yeah, you gave me the rings. She goes, all you got to do is put them in. No.
She was looking for a boyfriend to put the rings in.
She knew I kind of liked her, and she's looking for me to put her new circles in. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. We're not doing that job.
Nice try. Although you might have gotten some.
You have to give me some for about 10 years.
Oh, man. Circle job?
Oh, God. I'd see as long as it'll go. Why a guy called Robert Plant.
We can get monetized for talking about ring jobs, too.
Ring, yeah, you can't talk about putting rings in engines, I guess.
Do a ring job.
Whatever the payments are. But I wasn't doing that job. Lori Maddox. Okay, so now that's a piston with a bearing.
I want to get this ring groove because the top groove is the.
Do we have a busted ring around here?
Oh.
I thought I had some busted rings around here, like in the Mopar cabinet.
I'll check the Mopar.
And the reason I have busted rings, or broken rings,
it figures that
out of a
Mopar cabinet.
Out of a slant 6, and then you use that as a tool. Use that as a tool to clean the ring groove. Okay, let's see. Circles in the sand, spinning round and round, never ending. Yeah, Kim knows that song. Dexter, I had to do an emergency valve adjustment on the roadside to help out a friend once. I dropped my feeler gauge set in my truck and had not found it till I cleaned out my truck when I sold it. Rusted solid. I thought those things were stainless.
Ooh, they're always very, very picky.
That song came to him in the restroom. And why the 29 Palms? 29 Palms is the name of a town out in the California desert, Southern California. Oh, that's not. You'll hurt the piston. He's a sharp knife. What happened to the ring? The broken ring?
There ain't any. We didn't keep broken
I know
rings.
I kept broken rings just
We're
for
never
that.
building another Slant 6 ever again. I'm looking for something that I can.
Look at these things that Dean is sending us.
What's Dean sending us?
Like,
Crazy stuff.
did you see it?
No.
Well,
Palms?
no, after that.
Toilets?
Yeah, the men, women, toilet, WC, and a plunger. Oh, what do you got there? Oh, that's okay, I guess. It's wood, but you're not going to hurt it with wood.
Yeah, I can see the aluminum. It just needs a little bit of agitation down there.
He had no writer's block. I actually might want to make sure my feelers aren't rusty too. Now that it's mentioned. Yikes, Kim. Yeah, put some of that, do that so it's sharp. And put some of that gunky gasoline on there.
Well, I already soaked it in that gasoline.
Okay, all right. Break one, you're giving it new ring. Anyway, yeah, Tabo already helped pay for the rings. We got to put new rings in.
But
those rings are, I think those are chrome rings. I think they're pretty springy rings. They don't feel like cast iron. They don't feel like you could break them. Yeah, I don't know. I want to just run a hone down through there and put cast iron rings in it.
You're making it bigger. It's gonna run.
Jeez.
Fix your own motor.
Fix my motor's in my car. It's fixed.
Yeah, we already did your.
We already did mine. But then you stole my wheels. So I've got a really nice 72 Valiant with these little tiny 13-inch
wheels. The event is over. You can have your wheels.
I can have my wheels back. Put the little tiny wheels back on your car.
Yes.
You know
Be
what's
fine.
going to happen. I'm going to get paid for my crashed Mazda, and I'm going to put a little of that money into wheels and tires for my Valiant. But I
You know,
want,
the guy that I bought this engine off of has wheels for sale, 14-inch wheels for sale.
that's what I want is 14 inch,
They're the mag.
like 6 inch wide or 6.5 inch wide
They're the
tires.
fancy factory ones. I'm trying to think
Really,
what those are called. They do the fancy ones but they're factory style Mopar steel wheels, but they're.
Dougster says you need a Hastings ring groove cleaner tool. Oh yeah, you're up there in Hastings Ringland. Now the Ringland's part of the piston, but I mean like the land where Hastings rings are made. Wasn't your mother that worked in a Hastings ring factory or does or something? Bamboo, bamboo, not bamboo. Bamboo skewers are good for many things. Richard Holdner doesn't break old rings. Richard Holdner doesn't break old rings. Dean Stevenson in the old grease-proof paper Gugonator. Budsville, USA. Good evening. How you doing? Uh, we should get
Welcome to the
everyone some. We
stream.
should get everyone some nice steelies. You know what I like are the wheels. We used to take wheels and we cut them and we take two back halves and weld them together. So now you had a back half of a wheel on the front half of the wheel, and you'd end up with about an 8-inch wide wheel and offset probably a little bit too much the wrong way. But it's kind of a deep dish, stock looking steel wheel. Those were so good, and I had a bunch of them around, but yeah, I don't know where they went. Over the years, they're gone. But those were all Ford. Oh, those will fit on the Valiant. They're Ford wheels. Yeah, of
No, they
course.
wouldn't. The Valiant has 5-on-4, not 5-on-4.5.
Mine does?
Yeah, they
Eh,
both do. That's where the problem is. Now I
boo.
have 5-on-4.5 in the back of my car, but that's the only.
I'll have to do like you did and put all Ford parts on my Valiant. I
Yep.
keep
They,
I keep debating about trying that Valvoline Restore to clean rings and pistons after watching Lake Speed Jr. video, where a few changes uh, clean close to 100%. Anyone tried? I have not tried it, but you know the guy to watch, and you know Lake Speed Jr. That he is my go-to guy for oil. Man, does that guy know what he's doing? And like my whole life, the oil and oil additives and all that kind of stuff was always a big mystery. But that guy really lays it out the way it is. I wish somebody would do that with gasoline. Same thing he does. And because I don't understand all the gasoline additives, and I know they're man, I knew somebody that knew something about gasoline. They said that's why one of the reasons why gasoline is so expensive in California is because it's up to uh, the local authorities, like counties and cities, what the additive package is in the gasoline. So they have all these different additive packages in California for all these different places, instead of like most places where the oil company determines the oil package, or maybe the state does, and then at least it's the same for the entire state. You start letting all the local municipalities determine the additive package in the gasoline. Of course, the price goes up. So I don't know if people like that even know what they're doing. So, but anyway, it'd be kind of cool to have somebody that knows gasoline as well as Lake Speed Jr. does with the oil. Lake Speed Jr. His videos are great, nothing short of great. I've seen guys, and of course he gets in the weeds a bit, but if you're into mechanical stuff and want to know what's really going on with oil, yeah. I've seen guys drive an engine clean with Royal Purple oil, but not the Valvoline. There's another one, Royal Purple. Of course, like Lake Speed Jr. says, don't go by brand name, go by the additive package, and so I don't know what additive package Royal Purple uses, and they have many different products, so I don't know. In
I mean,
Australia, they have.
just putting new oil in at shorter intervals the detergency will clean your engine slowly, but
Dean Stevens says in Australia they had cattle stops, so 14-inch wheels. Cattle stops, is that the thing? There's a bunch of grooves across the road, steel grooves, so the cattle won't walk across, but the cars drive across. If that's those, man, those are all over Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. Those things are everywhere out west.
yeah.
Uh, American Racing makes things like reverse dish. Ooh. what is that word, Olive? Baby, oh, with baby moon caps or made. Yeah, I don't want the chrome ones. I like the black ones, but the deep dish black ones, wide ones with a dog dish hubcap, like kind of like police cars, only a little wider. Those little hubcaps with all the holes drilled in them. I think that looks so good, but that's just my opinion. Uh, Ducks or Wolverine, please. Head for what? Okay, there's a word there I don't know.
Go ahead and go back to full screen for a few
Bye.
minutes.
What are you gonna do? You don't want to be seen doing whatever you're doing?
I'm not doing anything interesting, and it's
Okay, we're back to full screen. By Hastings Rings, certified made in USA and packed by my mother-in-law. You know that's is your mother-in-law. Okay, the Valiant, my Valiant with a slant has Hastings rings in it. And you know what I was surprised at, because I remember you saying they still come packed in paper. Mine did not come packed in paper. They came packed in plastic, but they said Hastings on them. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're Chinese Hastings rings. I hope not. I'll try to keep you in mind, Doug. Oh, someone does make those. Oh, you know what I want? Kim,
what's that?
see that blue bucket that has all the chemicals in it?
Yeah.
Underneath that, there's a case of water. Could you get me just one of the waters, not the whole case? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Gearhead is what Doug's would say. Thank you.
What was all that?
Well, I caught it like instead of like this, I caught it like this, and that will never work. Yeah, moo horn trappers. Oh, that's the things with the horizontal bars. Man, I remember being in Ohio telling somebody, a cattle guard. We called them cattle guard. They had no idea what I was talking about, and yet I was so used to seeing those. Well, they were in Southern California, at least when I was a kid, and then Arizona and New Mexico and Texas. They may have been in other states too, but all over the Southwest, those things are all over the place. Let's see. Tavo, you'll be pleased to hear Hastings are popular down here, and my Hemi 6 has their black cast rings in it. See, they're smart. They're making parts for the Hemi 6-cylinder. Can't even get that engine here. Okay, I need my bag, which is now migrated over here, which has some drink flavoring. Kim, I got so many different colors of stuff and drinks and cool stuff. What am I gonna use? Brush bars, bull bars. Yeah, there are probably a lot of names for those things. And that may have been why they didn't know what it was. It's because I called it a cattle guard and they probably didn't know what I was talking about. Dougster, I have large Hastings and K-Site collection dating back to the 30s. Wow, it's always growing. I'm trying to find Hastings service equipment like Sun Equipment. No, they made it because I have brochure.
Yeah, I've seen Dougster, a bunch of Dougster's things with.
Dougster, you're almost like me. The tools are more important than the cars themselves. I'm crazy about tools, and I don't know. Someday I'll die, and Kim will get a really good bunch of tools.
Your family is going to come and sell that stuff out from under me.
You know what I've got to do? I got to go work on my will and change that. Nobody in my family wants those tools. They would, if they sold them, they'd take them in a garage sale and they'd go for $30 or something, because they don't know. They're clueless. People that don't work with tools every day are clueless what they're worth. And I have single snap-on open-end wrenches that are worth more than $30.
Would you, you can put the side camera back on?
Side cam.
El Gato.
El Gato.
Yep. Let me
El
see if we can see.
Gato. How's that?
Go to scene 2 so we can see us both, huh?
You mean scene 3?
Yeah.
There. Can everybody see everything? Well, not everything. I would have. My mom's neighbor still has them in her driveway. Wow. The cattle guard. Oh, that's awesome, Tavo. Sadly, mom's other neighbor passed away last night. Oh no. He had two 1970 Boss 302 Mustangs. Not sure what will happen to those. And you know what you need to do is get a hold of what's his name up in New York that I got my 318 Polly from. Um,
Burns?
Yeah, Lot Burns. Lot Burns is really into Boss Mustangs. I think he has a Boss 302 and a Boss 429. And his of course are completely apart. When I was there 2 years ago, completely apart, uh, full restorations. And Lot Burns, when he does a restoration, it's almost over restored. I think it's a '69 Charger that's black. I was in his garage. And his garage has like wood ceiling. I could see flawless wood ceiling in his hood because it was so glass like a mirror. It was black, you know, black painted Dodge Charger. It was just amazing, amazing work. The guy is a craftsman. Um, come to Iola. That's what Doctor keeps saying. Doctor Go keeps saying, "Can we come to Iola car show one year? They have simulated Chrysler dealership with Sun Machine and other cool vintage tools." I want a shop full of Sun equipment. Only way I would switch up was if I had Hastings. You know what? God, my friend Carl, that got killed back in 21. I was out there in his garage after he died, and he had a big Sun. Remember the big Sun scopes that you hooked all up to an engine? That was the diagnostic tool back in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And he had one of those in his garage. And he was a guy that had all 60s and 70s Chrysler products. And then, of course, he had a daily driver that was newer than that, but it was a Mercedes. It was one of those big B something 500 horsepower Mercedes, and the tag on it said Daimler Chrysler. So he goes, it's really is a Chrysler product. He always claimed it was a Chrysler product.
You said he enjoyed pissing people off.
Oh, he'd go to a show, like a Mopar show, and want to show his Mercedes, and they'd throw him out. No, you can't bring that in here. You park it in the parking lot, And he'd show him the tag, on the in the door jamb. It says Daimler Chrysler on it. Because it is a Mopar, and they go, "No, sorry." He used to make him mad. Because everything he had was Mopar except that, which he claimed was Mopar. Carl got killed in a stupid car accident. Tangled up 2 or 3 cars. It's unclear which one, because one of them may have driven off. 2 or 3 cars in a semi-truck and killed him. Really sad thing, You would love it, Dougster. 3,500 cars, 400 cars for sale, and 4,000 separate swap pins. You know what? You can't take enough money to a show like that. Then you're gonna I want one of everything. So I say to Kim every time we go in a Harbor Freight. I said, "Yeah, I want one of everything." And then I go, "No, I want 2 of everything."
2 is better than 1.
I have to wonder if the 57 Chevy is still up the road from my mom. Those is JB. 57 Chevy is still up the road from my mom. Been in the barn since the 60s. Bel Air convertible with fuel injection. Dougster Wolverine Garage. I've been eyeing a Sun battery charger and a Sun Bat 40 to complement my Sun 1120 engine analyzer, my Sun 500 distributor machine. I also want to get a Sun alternator generator tester. There's a story. I was in high school. This is in 1971, and the instructor was a Chevy guy. Although he also had a bit bullet nose Studebaker, but he was really a Chevy guy. You know, he had like 57 Chevys, and he had a Corvette, of course. You know, and so the guys, the kids, there were students that wanted to bring their cars up there and work on them. They were all Chevy guys, and he let them come up there. So we had Ford. There's a group of us had Fords, and they kind of make fun of us and laugh at us because we were Ford guys. So one day, he let one of the guys bring his Ford up, 57 Ford. You know how 57 Ford is. The hood opens backwards, and the fenders are really wide on the 57 Ford. So this hood opens like this, and here's the fender. So we've got a Sun. He's got a brand new Sun alternator generator tester, and he's going to show us how it works. And he tells us, now we've got this manual right here, and it's a book. And he goes, don't get your greasy hands on this book. I don't want to see any fingerprints on this. This book has to last for years and years in this class. So don't get your fingerprints on it. So my friend Bill sets the book there on his fender, and he hooks the thing up, and he reaches over and grabs the carburetor and goes like this, goes, wow, you know, and revs it up. And the fan, of course, goes like crazy, and that book goes, sucks down into the fan and just goes, and shreds that book. That was the end of that. No more Fords in the shop. Get that thing out of here. You know? So he was worried about fingerprints. Hastings running rings around the French since 1066. Rings. I don't know what that's about. Nice dad joke, Dean Stevenson. Oh, I missed something. Dean Stevenson. Oh, that. I also have a Sun tune-up kit in blow-molded case. Nice timing light, dwell meter, huge vacuum gauge, nice compression tester, and remote start switch. You know, when I started taking auto shop in high school, the first thing we had to do was you had to make a remote starter switch. And we had to make a test light out of test light was made out of an ice pick, and the remote starter switch, we had to get some kind of little case and a switch, and you know, a spring-loaded switch and some connectors. So he made us make that. That was probably a good deal because you kind of learn what's going on when you got to make the piece of equipment. Hastings, packaged in paper by Dougster Mom-in-Law. If in plastic, Dean's Malaysian brother-in-law has intercepted the packages. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't know. I bought new Hastings rings from, where'd I get those? I got them from, what's the automotive place? Rock Auto. So I don't know. Does Rock Auto buy from Hastings, or do they buy from the Chinese group that makes Hastings rings over there? Is Kim Ridge removing? You know what? That engine I don't think has any ridge. That engine has ridge that is, everything was so carboned up top. She's taken the carbon off of it. Mm-hmm. And we'll grab a bore gauge here in a minute, and I'll check the taper on the cylinders.
There.
I guess you got what, one piston out?
One piston's out, but the rest are coming out once I get. I just wanted to clean it up. I don't want to mess up these rings because I don't think they're bad. All
right. Maybe it's your engine. We'll have to hand Tavo's $20 back.
I mean, Tavo, I just spent $50 today on brake parts, so.
Yeah, maybe you could go.
You're okay with it.
Go to brake parts.
If you're okay with that, I'll take all the help I can get.
You bought brake parts too?
Yeah.
I thought you just bought bearings and
bearings, brake parts, and new wheel bearings for the. I've already replaced the ones on the driver's side. Now I already replaced the ones on the passenger side, and we took the driver side apart, and they were bad.
Did a 3-wheel brake job. Although it stopped really nice. So what'd you buy? Did you buy springs or did you just buy?
I didn't buy springs even.
You bought shoes?
Yeah, they probably needs it.
Okay, what brake parts you buy?
I just bought the wheel cylinder and the hose. The hose is bad.
Okay, the hose and the wheel cylinder.
Yep.
Dr. Go's getting out of here. All right, Dr. Go.
Thank you for coming, Dr. Go.
Dr. Go. Now he's Dr. Went.
That's
Dr. Went.
man. Get up and go, must have got up and went.
Dr. Go J. Yeah, I do like those J body crisis. I never knew it was a J body until after I rode in one. I do like those. But the clock repair shop owner told me about his final exam as a clockmaker. You have limited tools and you are issued stock metal. You must build a clock and watch and build your own tools to do it. Really? I know a family in Georgia. They are in Douglasville, Georgia, and they have the largest clock shop in the world. And the reason they know that is the father, who's passed away now, the father used to claim that, and they'd been to all the clock shops all over Europe and everything. And he goes, you know what? They come here and they see my clock shop, and he goes, not one of them disagrees with me. He goes, so I claim it, nobody else challenges me. So it must be the largest clock shop in the world. It's Champ's Clock Shop. And if you want to see a place, man, it's
Where's it at?
it's in Douglasville, Georgia, which is kind of west of the Atlanta area, and it's quite a place. And I'm not sure. I mean, I know they sell clocks and they service them and all that kind of stuff, but it's almost like a museum. All the places, it's something else, man. Oh, buildings and buildings full of clocks. That's crazy stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. Gap the rings to 19th thou for the twin turbochargers you're obviously going to put on it. That avoids a cam, extra valve gear expense, and exotic carburation. Yeah, now it's good night, Dr. Gone. I worked with a Dutch guy called, this is Dean Stevenson. I worked with a Dutch guy called Ronald Clock. He was a locomotive engineer. I remember did something clock, and I think it was K-L-O-C-K. Clock. I also knew a guy, when I was a little kid, there's an old man in the town where I lived, and he had a blacksmith shop. I haven't seen a blacksmith shop in years. But his name was Clocky, but I don't know how he spelled it. It might have been not C-L-O-C-K-I-E or anything. I bet it was some other spelling, like an old Kim. Whatever you just did, it made an error. You smashed your foot into that, and that yellow thing lit up, and now it went out.
What?
I don't know. You smashed your foot into something.
Oh, we're dropping frames. Relax.
Let you do it,
Just
or what?
relax for a second.
Oh yeah, I think our obviously our audio's screwed up. Oh, there's the audio.
Problem is that internet went down.
Ooh.
See, we're at 60 kbit per second. I don't know why.
Now we're at 0. 16.
We don't have any internet.
Whatever you kicked over there is right when it. Oh, boo. Yeah, everybody says we're buffering. We're buffering.